Hello, it's Gillian here, and as promised, I am returning this Saturday morning at 10:30 for my live broadcast number 3. Remember that July is all about communication for me, and I'm reaching out to see if I can gather as much information about what people want to learn about singing, their singing voice. Now, I've been teaching for over 30 years. Now, that will include teaching people how to sing, directing groups, and also organising events for singers. And in all that time, I think there's really one thing that really stands out in every aspect of the work that I've been doing in all that time. And that one is, it's all about communication between people, between the teacher and the student, the director and the group, the organiser and the participants. It's all about communication, clear messages backwards and forwards about the path, the journey, the project, the whatever we're working on. It's really important that communication is happening because you want to be delivering true value to your students, to your participants, to your group members. And that seems fairly straightforward, doesn't it? And that seems fairly reasonable to imagine a scenario where communication is so important. But let's just break it down a little bit. And I've been doing this, of course, over the last week or so, as I've seen information come my way and I'm assimilating all the information for myself as a communicator. You have really two kind of ways of thinking about this. And one is, let's imagine that, you could be a really great teacher, fantastic teacher, but if your student or your group or the participants aren't really listening to you and your message and what you have to say, then ultimately, at the end, there's not really a great deal that you can do to help them. They have to want to know, to connect with you. And also, on the other hand, there can be true vocal potential, but if the teacher, the director, the organizer is not connecting with the group, the participants, you get the idea, then progress will be really slow. And that can be very frustrating. So we need to look at this, and this is why I feel that communication is really key. How about this old saying? And it goes like this: you can draw a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Now let's think about that. I mean, this is a saying that I can remember my parents saying a lot to me, and I probably didn't understand it as a child, but certainly as an adult and in life. How many situations have you come across where you can draw a horse to water, but you can't make him drink? You get the idea. Now, I want to tell you a little story, a fairly recent story in one of my kind of journeys, personal journeys, when I've been teaching. And one of my major loves and one of my primary drivers has always been, as a teacher, to organise events where people can come together and make music. And sometimes you get people who are so enthusiastic, they don't really read what you're saying about the things you're going to be doing in that event, or what the objectives are of the group and the learning opportunity. So this course, the event that I organised, was primarily to engage with people about how they feel about their singing. They may have, for example, returned to singing after a long break and maybe feel a little bit self-conscious about their vocal capacity, what they have, their instrument, is it working, does it sound good, all those sorts of things. Or they may come and have specific vocal problems that need to be sorted, and usually they can be very simply, but you have to have that willingness to learn, to try and sort it out. And without that willingness, that openness, that acceptance of ideas, you're not going to learn very much. So in one of the sessions, it became very apparent that we needed to pause and think about the relationship of tension, right? This is a very specific thing to singing. Tension in the jaw. okay? Because to sing really well and to enable your vocal equipment here to have ultimate freedom, you've got to have a nice relaxed jaw when you sing, because the jaw interacts is inextricably linked, I think I've said that before, to your tongue and vice versa. And so if you've got tension in your neck and your jaw, there'll be tension in the main body of your tongue, which is called the genioglossus. And so we were talking about this, and this one particular person said that he had a problem in that at the end of a rehearsal, he would basically have no voice left, because, you know, if he was leading the rehearsal, he would find that towards the end of the evening, his voice started to become hoarse, and he was concerned about it. And it became very apparent over the duration of the course that he indeed did have a lot of tension that has taken years to get to that point, and it needed, like an onion, to have all the layers taken away until we get to the very core of the problem. But he wasn't really terribly receptive to that information, and neither did he really allow the time it might take to get to the center of the issue. And so I happened upon this person a little bit later in a totally different connection way, and I asked about whether he was thinking about continuing his vocal journey with me, and he just wanted to say, I will if we have something a bit more challenging to sing. And I was thinking, okay, so you are not going to be one of those students who really wants to get to the nitty-gritty of why he's not singing so well. He's more interested in just getting on and making the music. So, therefore, you know, it's questionable. Is he an ideal student for the kind of work that I really want to do? So do you get my point? So if one of my primary drivers has been to create opportunities to get people together to make music and to sing and to lead them, but what is more exciting to me, and I've discovered this very recently, is I like people to communicate with each other as well. So the learning platform that I've been talking about recently, my Virtually Vocalese online mentoring group, is just a group like that. Now it's 3 months old, born out of, I would say, demand, necessity. And what's exciting that's developing amongst the group is that they are interacting more and actually bolstering each other. So it's a learning is a journey, of course it is, and it depends which path you want to take. But I mean, what better than to have friends and contacts to share it with? It's an environment of trust. Now later on this morning at 11 o'clock I'll be hopping into Virtually Vocalese and doing our usual Saturday morning live vocal warm-up. And what will that be? Well, we had to start somewhere, and I always start my teaching from what I call the 5 basic essential exercises for singers. There are sort of 5 things that you really need to have a good grasp of: posture, breathing, something called onset, then we do lip trills, which always raises a smile, and then finally sirening. Now, only 5 basic exercises, but we started there. Now we are actually branching out, and I'm extending the exercises to a point where I'm inviting them to be more self-critical about what they're doing with the exercises, so that when they're working on their own, they can be very constructive in how they're doing their practice. They know the right things to look out for. So this morning we'll be doing just that thing. We'll be going through our basic vocal routine, and I'll be mentioning all the things, repeating all the same things, so that there is a pattern of learning. And from their Fess Up Friday video footages yesterday, I can see that what's fairly typical and what's happening is that they are enjoying the journey, but it's becoming more complex. So what will be my message today? My message to them today will be, just keep it simple, trust your instinct, don't get bogged down by all this information that's coming your way. Just keep to the basics and think about just maintaining the airflow to the source of the sound. keeping your sound true. Now, the point of this live broadcast this morning on my Little Soprano Facebook page is to communicate. And as you know, there is a questionnaire out there that people are responding to. And it's interesting. I have asked and people what they want, and the top thing that comes out in both this questionnaire on my Facebook page and a questionnaire that I've put to some of my subscribers, the top thing is they want to know about vocal technique. What does that mean? It means such a vast array of things. But let's just start and keep it basic to begin with. And you need to know these 5 essential vocal exercises. Now, what can you do if you're interested and you want to further your journey? It's quite simple. On my Little Soprano Facebook page, just click the Learn More button, and that will begin a journey for you on my website. Beginning with Virtually Vocalese, but really from that point you can visit anything on the website. There are various sort of click here's and links to things of interest. But if you're curious, you want to make a start, then the first thing I would advise you to do is to press that Learn More button and see where your journey takes you. Okay, that's it for this morning. I shall be back next Saturday for one more special Let's Talk live broadcast. I'm not quite sure what August will bring, but because I'm wanting to keep it fluid and organic, I'll let you know nearer the time. So thanks for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again next week at 10:30. Click that button, Learn More, begin your journey. Bye for now.